Greetings gamers and welcome back to another episode of Retro Raider. My name is Johnny Retro and guys, yesterday was a massive, gargantuan day for the video game industry. Now, a quick disclaimer here. This video is not going to be about the huge purchase that happened yesterday. No, this is not going to be about the fact that Microsoft bought Acitivision Blizzard. This video will be about what this purchase means for the future of gaming. And future is the key word here, okay? Future is what this thing is all about. As you can see guys, yes, I am surrounded by physical media. And why? Well, because I love it. I love to play my physical games, both my original cartridges on my original consoles, and I also buy, modern games on a physical format. And if you follow my channel, which is mostly dedicated to retro gaming, probably you're like me, you also love physical media, but let's not kid ourselves guys, okay? The future is digital. So let's turn our focus on Microsoft again, okay? Microsoft, the name Microsoft and the name Xbox, well, arguably, Microsoft doesn't have the best exclusives, or let's say that it doesn't have the most appealing or desirable exclusives. It's a little bit hard to compete with Sony or the PlayStation on that department, maybe even a little bit harder to compete with Nintendo, because Nintendo has some of the most amazing and stronger IPs ever. And if we look at hardware, hardware consoles, the numbers speak for themselves. Gamers do prefer to play on the PlayStation 5 and on the Nintendo Switch rather than on the Xbox. And to be fair, it doesn't seem that Microsoft cares about that much, about IPs, about exclusives, about console sales, and with a good reason, because Microsoft undeniably has the best online service at the moment. The Game Pass. I'm talking about the Game Pass. And that, fellow gamers, is the future. And let's not kid ourselves, okay guys, because we're not specialists on this, right? We're just gamers. Of course that we do have a voice, we do have passion for the hobbies, but these companies, the guys that run these companies, they know what they're doing. So this massive purchase that happened yesterday, well, this didn't happen just out of the blue. Of course that, Activision Blizzard was not in a very happy place, and I'm not going to talk about, their financial status or all of the controversy, with the sexual harassment cases. I'm not going to jump into that. Don't think that this purchase was just an opportunity that Microsoft saw, okay, in the heat of the moment. Nothing like that. This was planned, okay? All of these things are very, very well thought through. Microsoft is not looking at sales numbers right now. Microsoft doesn't care about what IPs they have at the moment. Microsoft doesn't care about the success of the series, of the Xbox series. Microsoft is planning ahead, and they should. And I mean, they're doing a phenomenal job, because let's face it guys, they don't need to produce their own IPs. They don't need a console, because in the future, and this hurts me to say it, but consoles will no longer be needed. What you need is just, to have a company, right, with great IPs that produce IPs for you and a great online service, a streaming service. And Microsoft already has that with Game Pass. So this is what I think is happening right now. I think that Microsoft is brilliantly, building a foundation for what gaming is going to be all about in the future. Now, Google tried it with Google Stadia, right? But I mean, they didn't have the games. They didn't have strong games, or let's face it, a really good, service there. But Microsoft has it. They're buying all of these studios, and these studios, with their IPs, they're going to produce all the content that Microsoft needs, because Microsoft already has the platform. Again, Game Pass. I think that the future will really be something like, well, we really just need, the screen, a smart TV. We just need a computer, we just need our cell phone, and a service. That's really it. Again, this right here, guys, as much as I love it, and I will still keep buying physical games as much as I possibly can, but in a few years from now, this is going to be obsolete. It is what it is. I don't think that we are going to lose, the collector editions. I think that collector's editions will be the future, or the only future for physical media. But that's it. But now, is this going to be a good or a positive thing for gamers, right? Because that's what we care about, right? We are not, company directors or administrators or nothing like that. We're gamers. We just want to game. We just want to play video games. Is Microsoft building a monopoly? Well, they are. But again, they're a company. Does this mean that all of their games are going to be, a Game Pass exclusive? I don't know about that. Again, I think that they're going to provide a lot of these games for other consoles, also other platforms, because they're going to make the buck anyway. I don't think they're going to pull out Call of Duty from the PlayStation 5. I don't think that they're going to pull out Diablo from the other platforms. Are we going to see World of Warcraft on a Sony console? Well, that would be amazing. That I don't think it's going to happen. But this whole monopoly fear that's going on right now with the community, and it is totally understandable. I see it as an opportunity, okay, for other companies, for the rivals, so to speak, to fight back. And what I mean by fight back, I'm not a console war guy. I really don't care. I don't care about the brands. Of course that I have nostalgia and I have, affection for these companies, okay, because I grew up with a lot of them. But I just want a good system, a good service, and good video games for me to play. That's all that I want. But I really see this as an opportunity. Sony and Nintendo, they really need to be creative here. And again, I also think, like Microsoft, they're also planning ahead, right? So what I think that it's going to happen on the other side, or maybe even better, not what I think, but what I think that it should be done. Let's start with Sony. I was a PlayStation kid, okay? I grew up with the Sony PlayStation. I had the PS1 when it was first released here in Portugal. I honestly think, as somebody that has been with Sony PlayStation since the very beginning, sometimes I feel like Sony is forgetting a little bit of why they are who they are. So they really need to push their online service. They really need to work in more IPs. They have great IPs, but we don't get as much, good exclusives per year. We need more. The VR2 is happening. It's going to be a killer VR set, but virtual reality for me, and if you look back, the first VR, the PlayStation VR, was a success, even though, the numbers are way below what, the PlayStation 4 sell, the actual system, but a lot of people jump into that, and there are a lot of great games on the PlayStation VR. And again, the PlayStation VR 2 is going to be amazing. But I still think that it is not a gaming experience for everybody. And let's not forget, it's expensive. It's going to be expensive. You need not only the actual VR set, but you also need the PlayStation, you need the machine. So the entry point, if you want to jump into that, it's a big buck. Nintendo, our dear Nintendo. Nintendo has amazing IPs, okay? Let's talk about Pokemon, let's talk about Super Mario, let's talk about Metroid, let's talk about The Legend of Zelda. Nintendo is Nintendo. The Switch is amazing. The Nintendo Switch is the console that made me go back to Nintendo, to the Nintendo hardware. Nintendo rules the portable gaming market. Aside from mobile is a different thing. And again, about the Nintendo Switch is not, a home console in which you can play on the go. The Nintendo Switch is a portable console in which you can play on your television. They are also doing a phenomenal job with the indie studios. However, you need that third party. You need the third party support. And let's be honest, Nintendo, you don't have the hardware to support these brand new upcoming games. You don't have the hardware to support these games, on your platform. And let's face it also, your online service sucks. So that's really what I think that it needs to be done. That's really what I think that it's going to happen. And my desires are, I really want everybody, every company to be successful. I want a really good and strong Microsoft. I want a really good and strong Sony and a really good and strong Nintendo, because companies are going to make the buck anyway, right? And in the end, it's all about us. It's all about gamers. But I don't know, it was interesting, it was fun, it was a very crazy day, because yesterday, guys, was historical. For the gaming industry, this This was huge, it was big. And again, I started playing video games back in 1993. And I think that right now, 2022, I think that this is the most exciting and interesting time for being a video gamer. I think that a lot of great things are happening. I think that a lot of greater things are going to happen in the future. Once again, it's all about gamers. And what about you guys? Feel free to share your thoughts down below. Your thoughts on yesterday massive day. What do you think is going to happen in the future? What do you think it is the future of gaming? I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and please, if you have the extra time, guys, feel free to follow me on social media for more content and news. I'm on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care, most importantly, of the gaming community, and game a lot.